Okay, we have a timetable for meetings for next year. We've put it into the board papers because it's the right thing to do, and we want to make it public. We're not going to have a debate about dates now. I'm sure you'll be relieved to know. Peter, it looks like you wanted to have a debate about dates.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't want to have a debate about it. I put my comments in.
Yes. So there it is.
No.
And that can be now approved and put on the public record, and meetings can go into people's diaries for next year. Thank you very much for that. We're not going to talk about framework agreements now because the one that we were considering is going to be considered in the private session because it contains commercially sensitive information. We are therefore going to move straight on to hear from board members who have been out and about in contact centres, talking to staff and talking to external stakeholders. I have a note that, so there are a couple of things. One is that we've been having the staff 10-year, so celebrations of staff who've had 10 years or more of service with the organisation. It'd be nice to hear a little bit about those. I did one, other people were involved in some others or all of them. Tim, I think you've been doing a couple of things out there in the world with primarily with a combination of us and with doctors, and I went to Chelmsford, which was great, with Roger.
Indeed.
Fantastic. So, should we start just quickly with the 10-year service celebrations? Nick, do you want?
I can say. I mean, I think I've attended two, the one in Wakefield and one in London, and other exec director colleagues were with me in Wakefield, and Louisa was with us in London. I think it's been great because staff have enjoyed it. Staff have come in, they've seen it as a celebration of their service and a chance to have a chat with their mates and generally celebrate what's going on. I think the London one had the most giggles and the most fun.
It's competitive now.
Why was this?
I don't know, they laughed at my joke.
Those colleagues watching us on the video streaming will be disagreeing with that.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody.
But the main thing is I was really pleased to have the opportunity to say a heartfelt thank you to staff who are the foundation of our service. So I thought they were really good. Really
yeah,
good.
I agree. I think it was very exciting to reconnect with the beginnings of our service and what it was like right there, and to remind ourselves about how innovative and groundbreaking it was at the time, and to have a chance to contrast some of the things that happened then with some of the things that happen now. I personally, although I, for example, knew that before NHS Direct became a special health authority, our staff were obviously employed by a range of different NHS organisations. I think there were 22 host organisations. What I hadn't realised was that we had staff working side by side on the same service in the same contact centre, employed by different organisations on different terms and conditions, some of them wearing uniforms.
That was the problem with the first audit.
It's extraordinary. So, it does just re-emphasise how much we owe to the staff who carried us through all the way from the beginning, and what great innovators they were. And how much they've done to shape the service that we're involved in now. So I personally thought it was fantastic. Renee?
Just on the other side of that, because what we've also had back from staff is notes of thanks for us for putting on the events. Staff that have been in the NHS for 30 years, and this is the first time that their contribution has ever been formally recognised. So they the staff who've written to me directly, and I know Nick's got some letters as well, it's much appreciated, and we did put a lot of thought into should we do it, shouldn't we do it, and I think in retrospect it is a good thing to do, and we're all looking forward to the 20-year celebrations as well now.
Yes, and I would say, looking at them, the point wasn't that they were lavish. I mean, they were not lavish, they were modest. But what made them special was the atmosphere and the preparation that went into them.
And Jodie did a fantastic job.
Jodie did a great job. Louisa?
I just wanted to say that, I thought that the sort of the exec members and the staff really got it just right, and they did, I think, create a really great atmosphere for the people who sort of came. It was a really heartwarming, sort of heartfelt event, I think, and I think everyone did really well.
Tim, was there anything you'd like to say about your engagement out there in the world?
Yes, I can. I've had. I enjoyed the Birmingham 10-year event. I was in Middlebrook to co-host Mike Cheshire, who's the NHS Direct Northwest Medical Director, NHS Northwest Medical Director, who I think was very interested to be in a call centre for the first time in his life, and to understand the range of things that NHS Direct does beyond the core service, and was very creative in his own thinking about how that sort of approach could help support, if you like, virtual care in his patch in northwest England, and was keen to get us thinking about ways we might be able to support him in doing that. So that was a very cheering undertaking, as well as a pleasure to visit what for me seemed extremely well organised call centre with very enthusiastic staff. So that was a very positive experience for me, and I think a positive experience for Mike Cheshire as well.
Great, thank you.
And then I went with old Brian to two interesting meetings. Quite cool. We had two quite contrasting meetings. One with the BMA's GP committee, and they're enforced to remind us about some of the teething problems of NHS Direct. It's a slightly different angle on the 10-year celebration.
Historic teething problems.
Exactly so. And to listen to what we're now doing, which then they gave us a good hearing, although I'm not sure that they are that enthusiastic about some of the things that we do. I think they're prepared to listen and prepared to contribute as we try and engage more widely. And then we had an excellent meeting with the new president of the Royal College of Physicians, who was also extremely interested to hear about the range of things that we did. I think he was unaware of, barely aware of the core service. It's unkind, I'm sure, but was particularly interested and saw opportunities to work with us in long-term conditions, and developing our approach to distant care, remote care for patients with long-term conditions, which is something that the Royal College is very interested in, and was happy to introduce us to others at the Royal College with whom we might be able to work, and whom we can invite along to not only see our work but contribute to the thinking and further development. So that was an extremely positive meeting.
Fantastic, thank you. Tim?
Am I not on your list with my MP visit?
You're not on my list, but don't let that hold you back in any way.
Hot off the press, Chris Kelly, who's the new MP for Dudley South, visited the Dudley call centre last Friday evening. So I supported Pam. We were able to introduce him to real people answering 111 calls, because we've got some in that call centre, which was really good. Really able to emphasise that we were very supportive of 111. And it was a wry aside. He was so pleased to hear that we're supporting government policy. So there we are. We were able to make the national infrastructure point, which was very well received, actually. And he was accompanied by one of Peter's colleagues from the local council, whose name his Christian name is Patrick, but I'm sorry, I don't know his surname. And they were very interested in Birmingham Own Health, because that affects their constituencies, so to speak, and so they're very, very interested in that. And we emphasised, our role in partnering and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that was very good. And then he listened to a couple of calls, and his response to the call, in fact, one call was where a child had swallowed some medicine. And really impressed that not only did we deal with the call well, we then rang the A&E department that we'd recommended and said, have these people arrived yet? And so he was really impressed that we were actually following up on the call and not just another call, get it out of the way. So I think it went pretty well. They were quite pleased. It was good.
Thank you. Okay, fine. This brings us towards the end of the meeting. I haven't been informed of any other business. The end of the public meeting, I should say. No other business? The next meeting is going to be on the 18th of October at 10:30. That will be mark the beginning of our 2 days of strategy away day for the board. So that we shall meet again at that point to have another public board meeting. Thank you very much. I'm going to close the public meeting now.